I will still argue that one of the more comfortable riding ladder frame SUVs in our current market here in the Philippines would be the Nissan Terra. Its zero gravity seats with the suspension really make for a very good ride. It's also never been short on pairings when it comes to comfort and ruggedness. But now Nissan wants to add another word to its flavor, which is sport. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2023 Nissan Terra Sport. And on this very quick walk around, I will show you just exactly what makes it sporty and what Nissan has maintained inside the automobile, because they figured if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which is actually a very good philosophy. Now, for starters, we will go with what's the most glaring, which is the color. There are two new colors available for the Sport, just available on the Sport itself, which is a fiery red and this stealth pearl gray. Stealth pearl gray. However, I must say that when my daughter first saw this car, she said it looks more like a twilight fog, which I think isn't bad. I don't know where she comes up with these things. She has a knack for making things up. I wonder where she gets that from. But anyway, Nissan, if you're paying attention, twilight fog. It's not bad. Let's move on to the front grille. All blacked out, piano black, very nice, very beefy, with additional garnishes on the sides. Looks very good, very sporty, and more black found down here. It really gives you a commanding presence. There is also more black found inside the headlamps. Not the headlamps themselves, but their colors, sort of like an eyeshadow inside. Makes it look very menacing, like a defensive tackleman, right? It's gonna like kill you. I like that. Moving on down the side, there is also a lot of black that can be found, starting with the roof rails, moving on down to the side mirrors, this small little garnish here, even the step boards. Oh, and the door handles too. Nice. The biggest change of them all on the side, obviously, would be the wheels. These 18-inch blacked out wheels looks very, very strong. Wrapped in 60 series tires, I like that. Some of the things that Nissan has not changed in the Terra because, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, again. Number one is that there are disc brakes up front, and because everybody clamored for it, there are still disc brakes at the back. It's still 225 millimeters of ground clearance found down below. And underneath, I'm sorry that I got ahead of myself and went to the side, but underneath the engine bay, you still have the same 2.5-liter four-cylinder turbo diesel engine. It still does produce 187 horses and 450 newton meters of torque. If you're looking at fuel efficiency, you can head on over to our full review of the Terra, which the links are somewhere down below, but I'll help you out by telling you that it should still be the same inside this automobile, which is we roughly got about 10 kilometers per liter in the city and about 15 on the highway. At the back, there are also more additional blacks. There is the shark's fin antenna, which is black. I can barely see it. I need to gain some height. The spoiler is also black. And this trim right here, this on the Terra is actually chrome. It's shiny. It's not bad looking. I actually kind of liked it. But seeing it here, blacked out, it looks so much better. If you compare it with just your average Terra. Unibrow. The unibrow is what Jack loves to call it. Obviously, you'll be able to see that there are also more cladding here on the side, here on the other side, and of course, underneath. Unfortunately, it still does not have a power tailgate. It's one of the very few of the, I think it's the only one of the big five that still doesn't have a power tailgate. But when you do open her up, space is still the same. Loading will still be very easy because apart from this small lip right here, it is a very flat surface when you fold the third row, and you can easily slide in your stuff. And as you can see, it can definitely fit two balikbayan boxes with the second row in play. And then perhaps maybe fit a large luggage here. When you fold the second row, then obviously you'll be able to fit at the very minimum another two balikbayan boxes. It would go without saying that the third row will actually still the same size person, small adult like myself, in the same comfort that it is. If you'd like to see more of that, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, you can go onto the full review of the Terra, which the links is down below. Here in the second row, also nothing has increased, but more importantly, nothing has decreased. The door still is able to carry very large bottles. You have a USB charging port that's Type A and Type C. Not only do you have vents up on top, but you have vents down here too. So you're like riddled with vents inside this automobile, which is great because everybody knows that the Nissan aircon is very, very cold, and that just adds support to it. And then you also still have your large monitor here to entertain everybody in the back. The one change that there is that it is no longer burgundy seats as you will find in the Terra. Inside the Sport, much like the cladding and the additions on the outside, it's all black now. It's actually very nice. It's got perforation here, and then it's got white stitching. I like it. It looks grand. It doesn't look expensive or anything like that. It looks grand in the sense that, well, it's sporty grand. I like it. I totally forgot just exactly how much space you can get inside this car because this thing's on rails, right? Yeah. Look at that. But that is my driving position. Now, if that were Jack's driving position, I'd be like this because he drives like a cholo. You do. Tech is a very big major player, that's kind of redundant, inside the Nissan Terra, and nothing has changed in the Sport, in the sense that it definitely still has a lot, or if not the whole suite of Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Stuff like forward collision warning, you have an around view monitor, and then your rear view mirror is not just a mirror, but when you flip a switch, the screen actually turns out to be a monitor where the camera in the back activates and you can see everything that's happening here without being impeded by anybody else inside the car. You've got a digital trip computer in the center. You've got analog gauges on the right, on the right and on the left, which flank it. Obviously, buttons on your steering wheel to control your computer and your cruise and your infotainment as well. Speaking of infotainment, it is still an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with, of course, your around view monitor comes out there. Your air controls here. Friggin' cold aircon, by the way. Good job, Nissan. A few piano blacks found also inside the automobile to match the outside. And these lovely buttons that you can't ever deny are really awesome because it immediately tumbles the second row so that you can load as much stuff as possible. Not to mention, this car also has an 8-speaker premium Bose system, which sounds fantastic. Also, with the black also continues here up front because this particular portion right here, if you guys remember from the previous review, this actually it wasn't brown according to Jack, it was burgundy. Burgundy, Jack, burgundy. Burgundy, now it has some white stitching and I think it looks very premium. I like that. Now, while the tech all remains the same, the price, however, has changed. The price of the Sport is different from the previous iterations, your just normal Terras. Can you even call them normal? I don't think so. The 2023 Nissan Terra Sport is available in a 4x2 and a 4x4 variant. The 4x2 comes in at just 2,119,000 Philippine pesos, while this 4x4 comes in at 2,459,000 Philippine pesos. For more information on all the products of Nissan, including the Terra and the Terra Sport, head on over to AutoDeal.com.ph where we have all that information for you. And if you're ready, try the Get Quote button, which is absolutely free, which can bring you that much closer to this unit or your next car faster than you can say, boy, Caco looks really small beside that unit.